Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a manhwa thriller that takes a seemingly perfect, idyllic scenario and flips it into absolute psychological horror. So imagine this. A young, super athletic guy named Fang lands what looks like the ultimate dream job. He's hired as the only male physical education instructor at this ultra-exclusive, secluded all-girls school. I mean, it kind of sounds like the setup to a lighthearted comedy, right? Well, actually, scratch that. As we're going to see, he has walked right into a terrifying, literally lethal nightmare.
The story really doesn't waste any time. Right on day one, we get this deeply disturbing omen. Fang meets the guy he's replacing, the departing PE teacher named Zhang Bo. And Zhang just hands over his duties, mutters this incredibly cryptic warning, "This place is both heaven and hell," and then he just walks away. Doesn't even look back. But you know what's truly unsettling? It's not just what he said. It's how the guy actually looked.
The contrast between Zhang Bo's file and reality is staggering. When Feng checks the personnel records, he sees a picture of this robust, muscular athlete in his 20s, total picture of perfect health. But the guy Feng just spoke to? He looked like a walking skeleton, sunken cheeks, dark circles, his skin just tightly clinging to his bones. And the most terrifying detail of the entire thing? Zhang Bo had only been working at the school for exactly 30 days. So right off the bat, we're hit with this insane mystery. What on earth could drain the life out of a perfectly fit athlete in just 1 month?
Well, it doesn't take long for the red flags to start popping up everywhere. Med High School claims to be this benevolent charity institution funded to help orphaned girls. But the campus itself tells a totally different story. We're talking high walls topped with barbed wire, a perimeter strictly patrolled by female guards, and a completely locked down campus where absolutely no one is allowed to leave. Under the watchful, super intimidating eye of the school's administrator, Madam Chen Shu, Fong realizes pretty quickly that this place isn't a school. It's a high-security prison.
And the weirdness just escalates in Feng's very first PE class. He walks in to find 24 girls warming up, and he is immediately thrown off. Every single student has this unnatural, flawless, mathematically perfect beauty. They're 18, but they literally look like meticulously crafted runway models. It's like someone applied a real-life Instagram filter to an entire physical space. You kind of have to wonder, how is it even statistically possible to have an entire class of perfectly sculpted people all in one room?
Things go from weird to downright dangerous when Fang organizes a three-legged race just to build some teamwork. The sports captain, Hong Jing, volunteers to demonstrate with him, and she deliberately gets uncomfortably close. But as she does, Fang is hit by this overwhelmingly seductive, mind-altering scent coming off of her. His vision blurs, his heart starts racing, and it dangerously clouds his judgment. He almost loses total control of himself right there in front of everybody.
The pacing of that first evening is just relentless. Around 6 p.m., Fang is exploring and hears the haunting sounds of women crying coming from a forbidden building at the back of the campus. Fast forward to midnight, the tension skyrockets with a sudden knock at his door. It's Hong Jing. And by morning, a covered body is being wheeled out to an ambulance.
Let's back up to that midnight encounter for a second, because it's absolutely crucial. Hong Jing is standing outside Feng's door in the sheer thin dress, desperately begging him to let her in. She tells him she's literally going to die if he doesn't. Feng, trying to protect his career and his morals, refuses to open the door to a student in the middle of the night. When it finally goes quiet, he peers through the keyhole. And instead of an empty hallway, he's staring right into a bloodshot eye, and he hears this bone-chilling whisper. "Teacher Fang, remember, you are responsible for my death." So morning comes, and the administrator, Madam Chen Shu, coldly tells Fang that Hong Jing died of a sudden heart attack. But Fang immediately calls out the obvious flaw in that story. How does a young, perfectly fit teenage athlete just suddenly die of a heart attack overnight? It makes absolutely zero sense, especially considering her incredible physical condition just hours before.
Fang refuses to just buy the official story, so he steps closer to the stretcher. A rogue gust of wind blows back the sheet, and the horrific truth is staring right at him. The beautiful, vibrant student from yesterday has transformed overnight into an emaciated, dried-up husk. She looks exactly like the skeletal former teacher, Zhang Bo. Her dead eyes are locked open, almost like she's still cursing Fang for rejecting her.
The psychological horror really ramps up during the next day's swimming class. Another student suddenly fakes these severe stomach pains. When Feng helps her to the changing room, she locks the door, her pain instantly vanishes, and she just throws herself at him. She's weeping, Begging for intimacy, telling him it is her only way to survive, she warns him that the school is a living hell, and if he doesn't sleep with her, she'll suffer the exact same gruesome fate as Jing. Imagine being Fang here, completely torn between his morals and the terrifying reality that saying no might actually be a death sentence for these girls.
Section 1. The Forbidden Building, Uncovering the Gruesome Reality. Let's get into what happens next.
This is a major turning point. Creepy VIP inspectors show up, eyeing the girls like cattle. Later, a terrified student named Wang begs Fang for help. Driven by this desperate need for answers, he waits for nightfall and sneaks into that heavily guarded back building. Inside, the atmosphere is suffocating. He sees doors labeled Training Room 101 and Condition Room 102. Hearing footsteps, he ducks into this freezing metal locker in a dark room. The stench of rotting flesh is just overpowering. Peeking through the slats, he witnesses pure butchery. Two women drag in a corpse. It's Zhang Bo, the former teacher. They casually chop up his body, joking about how the new teacher will soon succumb to the scent and end up exactly like this. In that moment, Fang knows for sure he is marked for death.
Section 2. The Med Foundation's Secret. The Mechanics of the Beauty Drug.
Fang barely escapes back to his room, but he finds the student Wang outside, screaming in pain, her skin turning red like bugs are crawling under it. Suddenly, Madame Chen Shu appears, but instead of killing Fang, she brings Wang inside, saves her with a specialized injection, and finally drops the chilling sci-fi twist behind this entire operation. Here is the absolute nightmare cycle they've created. Step 1. The girls are fed a daily soup that physically perfects them. Step 2. A deadly poison builds up in their bodies as a horrific side effect. Step 3. The only way to purge the poison and survive is to sexually transfer it to a male host. In Step 4, the man absorbs the toxin, withers into a skeleton, and dies. That is exactly what happened to Zhang Bo, and it's why Jing died when Fang refused her.
So what does this all mean? Why go through all this trouble? Well, it's always about the money, right? The foundation systematically creates these perfect girls to auction them off to the ultra-rich for millions of dollars. They are literally tailored to be pristine toys for billionaires. It's human trafficking fueled by unparalleled greed. But here is the massive curveball. Madame Shenshu reveals she actually hates the Foundation. She respects Fang for resisting the drug's scent, and she wants to team up with him to burn this evil empire to the ground.
Section 3. The Final Battle. The High-Stakes Heist for Freedom. Let's see how this wraps up.
With the VIP auction scheduled for the very next day, they put a desperate plan into motion. Fang has to infiltrate the top floor of the Forbidden Building to steal the incriminating data, while Chen Shu stays behind to create a distraction. But the infiltration goes completely off the rails almost immediately. He sprints to the top floor, only to find it guarded by two elite professional female fighters. Outmatched in a straight-up brawl, Fang takes a massive gamble. He deliberately enters the wrong password into the security panel, triggering the room's lethal knockout gas. And here's where his background as a champion swimmer actually saves his life. His lung capacity lets him hold his breath just long enough for the guards to pass out, clearing the way to the terminal.
He plugs in his flash drive and the screen flashes 5 minutes remaining. But things go from bad to apocalyptic in seconds. The Foundation realizes they've been breached. In a desperate move to destroy the evidence, they literally set the entire building on fire. Chen Shu is on the phone, screaming at Fang to abandon the download and run for his life.
But Fang isn't having it. He absolutely refuses to leave those girls to their tragic fate. He cowers under a desk as the room fills with thick smoke, and the computer cables are quite literally melting from the intense heat. Finally, the prompt pops up: data secured. He grabs the drive, but the doorway is completely engulfed in flames. So he takes the only death-defying option left. He smashes the window, leaps out, and desperately grabs onto the exterior air conditioning units mounted on the side of this burning building.
He's climbing down, but as he hits the 3rd floor, the iron support completely gives way. Fang plummets toward the ground, fully bracing for a fatal impact. But the impact never comes. He opens his eyes and he's not dead. He's been caught. Madame Chen Shu and dozens of the surviving students link their arms together, forming a literal human safety net to catch the very man who risked everything to save them.
As the police sirens wail in the distance and the hellscape of Med High School finally burns to the ground, Fang is clutching that flash drive, knowing the nightmare is over. It leaves us with an incredibly profound and chilling question to think about. After witnessing this grotesque exploitation, if absolute perfection costs your humanity and the lives of others, is the price ever worth it? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we unravel another fascinating story.